to American Truck Simulator. I'm David Steele, and here's my truck. Today we are in a Kenworth K100E. This is a mod by Overfloater. It's one of my favourite, okay, I've got lots of favourite trucks, but it's one of my favourite mod trucks, I should say. And it's very adaptable, it's very flexible, you can do an awful lot with it. And that's a really admirable trait, I suppose we should say. This particular machine, it's a former vocational truck I rescued from Alaska, and I've given it a bit of a refit, but I've not changed the mechanical specification of it, at least not yet. It was used to haul, was it used with an end dump? So this thing has seen some use. I've had it for about 5,000 miles, so I reset the odometer, and yeah, as you can hear, it's a little buzzy. So, why did I keep the mechanicals the same? Well, it seems nicely set up for vocational work. So we have under the hood a Caterpillar 3406A, and that is the 280 horsepower version of that particular cat motor. So it's the entry level of the range. It's the non-economy version of the Steel Productions engine pack. So there are two in the engine pack. There's the 280 horsepower, even 875. That's the version that we've got here. And the economy one has got nearly 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. And it doesn't rev as high. It revs to 1900 as opposed to 2100, which is what we get from this truck today. So why am I getting one with less output? Well, see, here's the thing. I'm driving this thing manual. I'm not playing around with my progressive shifting today. I really am shifting myself. So every missed shift, every mess up, yeah, that's all to do with me. And we're going to go and see if we can haul a boat today. And you know why? Because I like boats. What a short little train that was. I wonder if Sandy's been here. Okay, so the gearbox. It's a 10-speed, but it's an 8 low, or an 8LL, you might say. And that's got a 411 final drive. Good grief, look at that. Let go of the power for just a second and you bottom out. It's got a 411 final drive. It's a direct drive, I also should add. So it's 411 with a direct drive, but I'm on 24.5-inch rims. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, hard to tell here. But this is a wheel, I think from Jasper's wheel pack. And they're nearly wide. Also, I completely forgot to go and see what cargo they've got here. Rather foolish of me today. Okay, what have we got? I'm going to leave it running because it's raining. And let's look at the freight market first of all. We do not have any boats, therefore I'm not doing one of those, they suck. A crane, a boat to Kennewick. It's more like a yacht, but I mean, hey, a yacht, a boat, a submarine, I can sink them all. If you've watched any of my cold water videos, you'll probably have a pretty good idea what exactly I mean there. Alright, let's go ahead and it's going to log what we're doing today. So it's a 17,500 pound cargo. I think it's a fragile one. Yeah, it is. It's fragile. It's only 150 miles, so that's a pretty short trip. Our speed limiter is 65 miles an hour. Not that it's going to matter, as you'll discover. This thing does not exactly have a good turn of speed, but we don't need it to. This thing was designed to go up and down, I say mountains, quarries and stuff. And it's only a 4x2. I may put it in the shop and convert it to be a 6x4. But right now, a 4x2 has worked out great for me. It's a squat little thing on pretty big rims. I wonder why they chose big rims. Oh, I know why. For the ground clearance, I would imagine. The Caterpillar under the hood, I'm almost sure has been rebuilt at least once. Possibly twice, but of course it's not particularly stressed. The 3406A was rated to at least 360 horsepower, and this thing's only 280, so it's not exactly working out well. I say it's not working hard. It does work hard, as we're about to find out. But in terms of stress for the block and for the engine, it's not particularly stressed. Can't we hire one of these bigger vessels? Well, right now it's going to take the this little lot, someone's plaything, I'm sure.
Time to get the job done.
I really want to be careful with these today. Let's go ahead and set my ride height. Let's get the thing connected. Quick check. Yeah, I guess we're on right. So it's a 10-speed, but with 2 crawler gears. We've got low, which is what we're selected right now, and we've got low, which is the next one up, and then we've got 1 through 8, or 1st through 8th. I'm going to go ahead and just move off in low today. See how much this thing pulls. 875 foot-pounds of torque is really not much in a modern sense. I gave it a little squeeze of power, and it's happily rolling along. Bobtail, I'll move it off in 1st, sometimes 2nd. But anyway. Right, let's make a shambles of changing gear then, shall we? Right, let's put it into 1st. So the design of this gearbox is kind of like 2 4-speed gearboxes. I'm not entirely sure if it's a dog leg to get to the crawler gear. Two 4-speed transmissions. I think it's got a range between them. I may be wrong. Someone way more clever than me will probably correct me. I'm using a controller today, so I don't have a stick shift, so I don't have the joy of moving around between the different ratios, stirring the cup of tea, as this phrase may be, but hey, that's okay. No train right now. It's barely a train, more like a truck earlier on, right? I'm more than a little rusty driving around with a sequential manual, but how hard can it be, right? Let's try low. Yeah, low is fine. It's not a particularly heavy cargo. So low seems to be good to move off, at least on the flat. It looks like we're good on the right. On the left even. Yeah, it's not exactly speedy. We don't expect it to be. We're going to use all of those revs today, or at least most of them. Thankfully, there's nothing appears to be behind me. Right, let's see if we get pulled in. We do. Okay, fair enough. So I think the truck weighs maybe 16,000 pounds. The cargo is 17.5, and I don't know what the trailer is. We're probably only looking at 40,000 pounds gross weight. So not a big challenge for an old cat, a 79 Caterpillar, I admit, but still not a big challenge for it. The bigger challenge is me getting the right gears. So this is there. Yeah, I stopped too soon, and doesn't let me move off in 1st gear with the cargo. Okay, a little reluctant and low. 45. Okay, that's fair enough. Right, so let's try a low loader 1st. Yeah, it seemed okay with that. I'm gonna skip gears. Seems to be okay doing that right now. I'm gonna go from 3rd to 5th. Okay, just about did that. Probably not going to get away with that 5th to 7th. I don't think my limit is still 15. Surely. Yeah, I'm not going to follow 15 miles an hour. So I'm squeezing the pedal, not entirely all the way, but yeah, that's it's not got a lot of go. Okay, I think we're on our way. Well, as we're on our way, I think it's time for a bit of Tony Justice. So, here's what I prepared earlier. I'll be right back after this short musical interlude. Alright, thanks Tony. Not that he's here to say anything, but I appreciate a little bit of a music interlude there. Playing around with a couple of settings on a Stream Deck just to see how well this thing was. Oh, here's my exit. Oops. Yeah, I should stop playing around with the Stream Deck and actually drive. Okay, just downshift a couple of gears and let's nail it. There we go. Yeah, I get the feeling that this truck has been, like I say, I wouldn't say abused, but it's been worked hard up every down grade in Alaska, hauling way more than it should. And so this little 45,000 pound load, to be admitted, but nothingness for it. Because the gearing is excessively short for highway use. This truck is going to hate every single highway mile that I put on it. It's okay. We'll find a mountain. We'll give it. We'll find a logging mountain. We'll make it work for living in a different sense. Right, let's go for top gear. Good grief, doing 2,000 revs at 47, give or take miles an hour. 45 at 48. Okay. Right, we'll set my cruise at 60 and we'll see what the engine revs are at 60. I'm going to guess it's close to 2,000. Does it matter? Well, it's not the sort of vehicle we would expect to see doing 60 miles an hour, and the fact that it can do it is probably good in itself. It's just maybe better suited to a heavier cargo than I've got and a much slower road. Good for your single carriageways, for your single lane roads. Oh, it's a Prius, and I have got a bull bar on the front of this wee beastie. Come here, little Prius. Come here, little Prius. Yeah, we'll see if I can actually reach it, because it can be a little skitterish. Can't think why. Alright, well, it's doing 1900 revs at 60 miles an hour. And I mean, is it comfortable at this speed? It's a little noisy, but it's okay going up that hill. This is still a hill, and we're still going up it, and we haven't had to downshift, so I'm good with that. Yep, come off the power as we come off the power as you reach the top of the gradient, and I don't know if we'll pick up speed on the way down. We probably won't. So what's the payback for short gearing and low power? Well, it's in the economy, and it turns out it's also stability, but that's more of a 4x2 issue. It's a little thirsty. In fact, it's not a little thirsty. It's thirsty. There's no two ways about it. I'm going to be driving along at 60 miles an hour at 1900 revs. It's something with the aerodynamics of a half-solid brick. It's going to be thirsty. And vocational duties, it's not too big an issue if it is thirsty. Economy is showing us 5, but I was doing one of the routes I was recently driving was a lot more flattering than the one that we're on. So I expect that to drop. I'll probably keep it on that screen for just a little while. We'll see if it does, or how much it drops by. It looks like it's coming out to my exit. I actually want to be in, yeah, I think the left lane. Okay. Nope, the right lane was fine. I always seem to get that confused. Left and right, that is. Well, I get lots of things confused. Okay, so we're down to 40. It's turn off my indicator. Down to 40, and that's it'll do 40 in this gear. We'll see if we can climb this hill though. I'll get my cruise back on. We should try and put it back up to 60, but yeah, my driving's all over the place. Very sensitive steering input. So we've got an hour left in the drive. 2 hours before I'm supposed to take my break. My driver's just started yawning. And 4 hours of railroad time to get this done. We'll get it done, no problem. And if I need to, I can stop. I was doing a lot of night runs in the K100E, and that's possibly why the economy is good, because there's less traffic. The weather was also better as well. Well, we are getting on back to 60. I suppose it's useful I've got a boat behind me, because I mean that's handy for the rain, right? And also, did I mention that I like boats? Yeah, I might have mentioned that a couple of times. Weird, right? Yep, second yawn. I know. You're fine, driver. You're perfectly fine. Everything is fine. Look at this. It's fully cruising along at really high engine speed, and our economy's gone up. 5.1. Okay, well maybe I'll take it back. The 3406 is a 14.6 litre engine. It's considered a 15 litre unit, but it's 14 and a half essentially. Oh, big yawn. Should not listen to my driver yawning. This particular variant is modelled on the 3406A PC, sometimes just the PC. PC stands for pre-combustion. I'm going to get on my brakes here, I think. And what that means, essentially, it's like a little pot that's attached to the cylinder head that the fuel goes into before it's essentially squeezed and starts to burn there before it ends up in the main cylinder. It's designed to sort of quieten and smooth down the burn. It was a technology used by mechanical engines, also known as indirect diesel injection, but that terminology came up. I first started hearing it when Volkswagen were announcing their TDI, the direct injection diesel engines. And this was before they were caught cheating. This goes back a long time. Let's just check if we still weigh 45,500 pounds. We've lost anything off the back of our boat. Let's see. Is everything still there? Yeah, I guess so. We burnt off a little diesel, but we would expect that. Going to go up sequentially through the gears, I think. So 4th to 5th is low to high range, so it takes a little longer in real. It can take a little longer in real life. But you've got to move the stick slightly further, but not materially longer. Good. Alright, guess I'll put resume back on the cruise. I'm going to take it back up to 60. It's going to be seemingly getting dark soon, but it's only just gone 3 o'clock, 1500 hours. Yeah. So all up, I don't think that this has been a bad purchase. I did spend quite a bit of money on getting it refurbished. I was getting it like David. I was very close to painting it action yellow, because who doesn't like a bright yellow truck? And I know some people really don't like bright yellows, but I quite enjoy the colour. But decided I would just restore the original blue, and I don't regret that choice either. I think that's worked out great. Okay, I've got to turn left up here. Oh, something I didn't mention. This transmission's got a retarder in it, which I thought was an interesting choice. Yeah, I want to merge left here. This car's going to let me in. Yep, thank you. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice to fit a retarder, but if you are going down a gradient with lots of weight behind you, you probably need all the help you can get. And perhaps the engine brake on the Caterpillar, it's maybe not the strongest. I would say it's terrible.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Okay. But it feels and sounds more like the Max Dynatar as opposed to a proper J brake, or possibly even the the Caterpillar brake saver. But as a retarder, it takes a bit of heat from forward movement and puts it into the cooling system, typically via the gearbox. So this cooling system doesn't really get a break. And again, being in Alaska, half the year I'm sure it's very cold, and the other half is just merely cold. But in terms of mechanical spec, it's been looked after, and that's a good thing. Plus, I mean, it still pulls from 1,000 revs. But I admit it, the gearing is not tall. I think this thing, with something like the FedEx fleet truck, 10-speed, I think this thing would really struggle. Although it makes me think I maybe want to try it. Because, I mean, how bad would it really be? Yeah, I think it could be very bad. I don't really fancy doing the difficult parking. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's play it safe. Let's just see where I'm supposed to put it though. That's a challenge. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, that makes a bit more sense. It's over here on the right, but okay. Right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. A little short and sweet. Just wanted to kind of show off a different flavour of K100. Was the K100 a typical vocational truck? I couldn't answer that question directly. Was a 4x2 a typical choice? Possibly not. But I like my oddball specs. This truck may resurface. Looks like I just missed out on it going green there. There we go. I'm gonna say that that's good enough. Yeah. So this truck may well appear at some point in the future because yeah, it's been fun. So I guess last things last. Let's just see how far we covered and how much motion lotion we burned. So we did only 144 miles today. Yeah, like I say, it's a pretty short trip, and exactly 30 gallons, which means just under 5 to the gallon. So 4.7, 4.8. It's about what I was expecting. It wasn't as terrible as I have seen from this truck because, oh boy, I've seen this very bad. Yeah, up and down those mountains with that short gearing and a fairly heavy load, yeah, it's 2.5 to the gallon. Probably a full mile per gallon more than you get from a Cummins KT, but that's by the by. Thanks ever so much for watching, everyone. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.